framework of Ghana and has grown over the years to the point where, as at the end of 2019, I'm told it is estimated to have contributed at least 40% or more of Ghana's total gold production each year. The small-scale sector serves as a source of employment for some of the youth in mining communities across the country, and the evidence further indicates that a significant number of such youth migrate from other parts of the country to peddle in the activity. However, the small-scale mining sector is fraught with quite a number of challenges given the thin line between it and illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey. These challenges, which are severely impacting the socio-economic situation in Ghana, include degradation of lands and forests, thereby creating significant environmental liabilities, pollution of rivers and water bodies, use of mercury in processing the ore for gold, thereby creating public health and safety concerns given its carcinogenic nature. Conflict between illegal miners and large-scale mining companies. Example, attacks on security personnel of mining companies as well as the police. Encroachment on the concessions of large-scale mines, thereby reducing their mineral reserves and associated mine life. National security and public safety risks, given that some illegal miners are armed and sometimes utilize illegally acquired explosives in their activities. Gold produced from the illegal mining sector typically does not go through formal channels, for which reason the government earns no royalties and taxes from them. Clearly, Galamsey, as illegal mining is referred to, is unsustainable, unacceptable, and must be stopped. Myself and Asantehene are palpably opposed to anything which destroys our environment and ecosystem, thereby posing an existential threat to the survival of our communities. The theme, sustainable small-scale mining for national development, is therefore very appropriate and all-inclusive enough to bring all of us, from all shades of political power, social and economic status, who want the transformation of the small-scale mining sector from just a potential to actual positive catalyst for development. And I'm glad I've seen my son Collins Dada, and then Dr. Pepo, and all the people here all contributing to this dialogue. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with our nation having been blessed with so many minerals, it is not surprising that mining has always played an important role in our lives, where our minerals have been the attraction for many adventurers and fortune seekers for centuries. Mining has been an important undertaking throughout the history of mankind, being a necessity to our very existence. Not just an indulgence to satisfy our thirsts or our curiosity. Everyday life is dependent on the minerals extracted from underneath the earth. Today, beyond the adornments of Nananum, and which properly so distinguish them as the custodians of our cultural setting, most of the other things that we use, ranging from the smartphones we own to the coins we spend, and the wires that carry the electricity we consume, emanate from metals that have been mined. The mining industry of our country plays a critical role in our economy, providing considerable job opportunities, directly or indirectly. But we now need to look beyond the contribution of the mining sector, mainly in terms of fiscal benefits to the economy. Optimally integrating the sector with the rest of the economy would catalyze Ghana into accelerated economic development through opening avenues for adding value to the minerals extracted, creating feedstock for the agricultural, industrial, and services sectors, and therefore enhancing the local content of the industry, as well as developing and expanding usage of shared infrastructure across sectors. I expect government to facilitate this process with industry players and other stakeholders taking a cue supporting this development over the ensuing years. And this, I also want my university to be involved. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will be the first noting the bequeathal of our forebears to uphold the rightful place of small-scale mining, which is done properly and responsibly within the legal framework. Very importantly, it should be designed to address the needs of mining communities and enhance their benefits therefrom. It is my expectation that the community's interest would indeed be the key focus and not some other interests. The focus for this consultative forum is on small-scale mining. The small-scale mining subsector has the potential to contribute to livelihood, empowerment, and the poverty alleviation of people in our local communities and beyond. However, in recent times, we have all witnessed the unprecedented destruction of arable land for agriculture, forest reserves, and our water bodies through illegal mining activities using sophisticated equipment and machinery, often in partnership with foreign nationals and criminal syndicates who have no interest in our development. Often, the structure and operations of the sector are more complex than meets the eye. The president on his own, and indeed government alone, cannot fight and win this war. It should be an all-hands-on-deck initiative with all stakeholders, all of us, playing our part. It is in this light that I support the call of the president through his parliamentary address on 4 January 2021 for a broad-based national engagement on managing the sector. And I'm happy to hear that the maiden national dialogue in Accra during 14th and 15th April was very successful, reiterating the key factors that need to be taken on board. It is crystal clear that weak and inadequate enforcement of laws governing mining was identified as one of the key gaps that need to be addressed to turn the fortunes of the subsector around. This falls squarely on the lap of the government, and I'm happy that my son, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, has assured me that he, with the support of his colleague ministers, MPs across the political divide, public and civil servants will lead the crusade to right this wrong. Wrong is wrong, irrespective of who commits it. And right is right, irrespective of the personalities involved. The illegal mining situation is clearly complex and requires a carefully thought-through, multi-stakeholder approach if Ghana is to succeed in bringing it under control. The following are some proposals that could be considered in this effort. Exploration. The gold mining process starts with investment in exploration so as to delineate the mineral resource. However, most small-scale and illegal miners do have the funding to invest in such a process and would often encroach on the concessions of large-scale mines in conducting their mining activities. To address this, I propose that a special fund to be set up to cover the needed investments in exploration activities along the gold belts of the country, so as to better define such mineral resources and also identify new areas for purpose of mining. The Minerals Commission, in conjunction with the Geological Survey Authority, should identify and ring-fence land banks within the mining districts of the country exclusively for small-scale mining purposes. This should hopefully reduce the current competition between large-scale and small-scale miners for mineralized real estate. The capacities of the Minerals Commission and the Environmental Protection Agency should be urgently enhanced and adequate resources provided to enable them effectively regularize and regulate the activities of small-scale miners to ensure compliance with regulatory requirements as well as responsible mining practices. In this regard, with the exception of properly designed alluvial mining operations, mining near rivers and water bodies should be banned. Secondly, in accordance with the Minamata Convention, to which Ghana is a signatory, the use of mercury for gold processing should be banned given its toxicity to human health and the environment. This should then be replaced with training and capacity building for small-scale miners on less dangerous means of gold recovery. Personal safety and sound environmental practices should be critical aspects of small-scale mining going forward. As is the situation for large-scale mines, Reclamation and rehabilitation of mined-out areas should be a key aspect of small-scale mining operations, and renewal of such licenses should be contingent on effective land reclamation.
Sure.
This is to ensure that the environmental degradation recorded to date is contained while efforts are made to address the liability of the medium to long-term issues.
Sure.
District assemblies, through their district mining committees, have an important role to play in ensuring effective monitoring of small-scale mining activities in the country.
Sure.
To this end, DCEs, as chairpersons of District Security Council, should be held directly responsible for situations of illegal mining within their respective districts.
Sure.
They should ensure that, in collaboration with the regulatory authorities, small-scale mining is effectively monitored so it is done in compliance with the required practices and regulatory framework. And then illegal miners also can be stopped.
Sure.
Large-scale mines should work with NGOs and other relevant organizations in rolling out alternative livelihoods programs within the mining communities in which they operate.
Sure.
This should be coupled with awareness creation on the negative impacts of illegal mining as well as its unsustainable nature.
Sure.
Such interventions should reduce the number of young people who engage in illegal mining by giving them safer means of livelihood, for example, vocational skills.
Sure.
On my part, I have already warned my chiefs and elders against participation in such illegalities, and I will not hesitate to strongly sanction any such infraction.
Sure.
Already I've had reports about some things happening in Amansia and the Fomna area, and I'll be investigating that to see what's happening.
Sure.
The need to actively involve traditional authorities in this effort is absolutely imperative, for they continue to be the custodians of our communities across the country.
Sure.
We should go beyond paying lip service to traditional authorities as custodians of our communal land and seriously and actively engage them in this collective crusade. For example, the current system, whereby licenses for concessions are given out before consulting traditional authorities, is dysfunctional and must be revised.
Sure.
It is my considered view that it will be most prudent to consult traditional authorities before licenses for concessions are given out.
Sure.
Does it not make a mockery when the Constitution says the minerals under the president is in charge of the minerals on the earth? But when you're going to mine the mineral, you go through the land that belongs to the chief.
Sure.
So why doesn't he have a right to know who is doing that?
Sure.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I urge all stakeholders to commit to upholding this tenet of equity by supporting where you have to, putting pressure where you have to, monitoring and taking action where you have to, if we are to make headway in winning the fight against illegal mining and making small-scale mining a true instrument of sustainable national development. Legal small-scale miners should be engaged in the discussions on the search for solutions to the challenges posed by illegal miners. Mr. Minister, you need to engage them. They know them. If you ask the small-scale miners, they know the illegal miners. Sit them down, get the Minerals Commission to give you a list of all the registered small-scale miners. Let us do a comprehensive search over there. And get the security and others to map out where they are. All others outside this are illegal miners, and therefore we can arrest them. Greed, dishonesty, and hypocrisy ought to be jettisoned in this crusade. We require bold, honest, and frontal leadership in this sector. Honorable Minister, I expect that in this respect, the deliberations of this consultative forum will frankly discuss, explore, and reinforce the best ways to control illegal mining activities while promoting and supporting legitimate and responsible mining in Ghana.
Joe.
I wish you a successful dialogue, and you can continue to count on my support and that of Asantehene. And now formally open the second National Consultative Dialogue on Small-Scale Mining. I thank you for your attention.
Joe.
O